Innovasie of eerder vernuwing is van kritieke belang vir die ontwikkeling van die individu, maar ook vir die voortbestaan van organisasies. Relentlessly Relevant 50 Ways to Innovate is konsultant en skrywer Douglas Kruger se nuwe boek. Douglas sluit nou 'n bietjie by ons aan. Hallo Douglas.
Hi there.
Douglas, there's a lot of books around innovation. What makes this book an absolutely worthwhile read?
Well, the starting point is its reason to exist. There was a survey done last year where a group called Yellowwood Marketing Agency came to an interesting conclusion that I feel no one is really talking about, and it's a very important one. The conclusion is that South African consumers are not reacting well to the idea of legacy these days. They're reacting much more powerfully to how a brand is innovating into their world today. And I call that chapter in the book the meteorite strike that no one noticed.
Sure.
Because that dynamic has the power, the potential to topple the old dinosaurs if they don't change their ways. And it also has the power to give upcoming new brands the opportunity to topple the old giants if they know what to do about it.
So that's the interesting part. So that's my question. Why is it so important for small businesses out there to innovate?
Well, it keeps us relevant. And I mean, as the title suggests, relentlessly relevant. Markets change so quickly. One of the starting points for the book is to say it doesn't matter how excellent you are in your leadership capacity when your entire business model becomes redundant. So by way of an example, you might be, you may have studied leadership techniques. You open up a chain of, say, rental stores and you run them impeccably until, say, a Netflix example in the States makes your entire business model redundant. And it doesn't matter how well you ran the stores,
Yes.
the world has moved on.
Yeah, it's like Uber, for example. Good example. So give me an idea. I'm an entrepreneur out there. I write the words innovation as part of my values on my wall, and all I say to myself, we're innovative.
Yes.
But how do I start the process of building an innovative organization?
Well, in fact, you've touched on one of the great dangers there, is that it becomes merely marketing hype. And over the last 10 years, it probably has become the single biggest buzzword in business. Innovation, we have to innovate, we're an innovative culture, but no one really knows how to do it.
So how do I do it?
And it's those levers, that's what we're after.
Okay.
And what I've tried to do in the book here is to give 50 practical levers, starting points. And I'll give you a simple example of that. One of the thought exercises that I recommend is called Burn Down the Building. And the idea is this: you get your team together, sit them down in a morning and say, all right, imagine, last night the building burnt down. We lost our offices, our equipment, our delivery mechanisms, everything physical, everything tangible that we've used up to this point to service our clients. Now, as of tomorrow morning, we still have to service the same clients with the same basic idea, the same core thing that we do. How do we do it?
Yeah.
Now, this forces two things. On the one hand, it forces you to get down to the essence of what it is that you offer. And very often we deceive ourselves about what it is that we offer. I mean, there's the old joke that does the rounds about the manager of a hardware store saying, what do we sell? And his staff say 16-inch drill bits. And he says, no, we sell 16-inch holes in walls.
Yeah.
That's the thing that you sell.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that the thought exercise forces. The second is it forces you to see potential threats. Because if you can think of another way of delivering the same thing, surely someone else can too.
You've never mentioned money. So a lot of the times we think innovation should cost me money. Is it really expensive to innovate for a small business?
Well, no, and you're dead right. That's always the first association. We think it's either about lots of capital or about being a technology group, or we go straight to innovation is an app. Now, my thinking in this book is that innovation is everything but those things. In fact, you can have huge amounts of capital reserves and not be an innovative company.
Yeah.
And I do reference some of the tech giants and the lessons that they've learned and, the top books on innovation that have preceded this one. But actually, the opening story is about a vendor just outside of Soweto who sells bunny chow. And he does something interesting. For a small extra fee, he will put your bunny chow onto the highway and let a truck run it over for you. Now, what he's doing there is he's just adding some unique theatre to the experience, and he's able to charge more for that. Now, here's a guy who doesn't have an MBA, he doesn't have capital. What he has is his wits about him, and I contend that that's what innovation is really all about.
Who's the main contributors to the book?
Well, it starts off by referencing all of the leading titles on innovation up to this point, and I do point out the best ideas from the leading titles. And the promise that I make to the reader is I say, I will point out which books are good, but I don't want you to have to buy them as well, because to me it feels feels like a cop-out to say, now go and buy these two. So I've tried to, my starting point is to condense all the best wisdom from the leading titles to date. Then we have contributions from the marketing manager of BMW SA, from Reg Lascaris of Hunt Lascaris fame, the advertising agency, from the previous Dean of Gibbs, and that's quite an interesting section just about adding personality as a form of innovation, and Michael Jordan was kind enough to do the foreword.
Awesome. Well, it sounds to me that it's incredibly practical and it's very, very simple to use, so hopefully the guys are going to go out there and innovate. Firstly, read your book and then go and innovate. Thank you so much.
And make a lot of money for themselves.
Absolutely, thanks.